Hello, this is Jules. A lot of what I've discussed on this channel so far are ways in which we can grow and develop consciousness progression, spiritual development, skill mastery and intelligences, improving areas of life and self-care, etc. But there are some aspects of a person that don't grow and develop. In a way, they're what make you you. These aspects of you are usually pretty consistent throughout your life and across different situations. By the way, in this video, when I'm referring to you, I'm referring to the finite you of this lifetime, your body, your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind. And people differ from each other in these mostly unchanging ways. It's one of the things that makes life wonderful and exciting. Sometimes these mostly unchanging ways in which people differ from each other are called traits. For example, physical traits like the fact that my eyes are brown, and autistic traits like hyperacusis, which allows me to hear things that neurotypical people can't. Sometimes they're called types, for example, body types, neurotypes, and personality types. Types are often defined as collections of traits. And sometimes they're called other things like gender, learning style, or the signs and aspects in your astrological birth chart. For the rest of this video, I'll refer to these things as traits and types, but understand that when I say traits and types, I mean all of these mostly unchanging ways in which people differ, regardless of what they're actually called. I say that traits and types are mostly unchanging because for certain kinds of traits and types, it can be possible to alter them. For instance, I was born with a uterus, but I have had a hysterectomy, so I no longer have a uterus. This is a physical trait I was born with that I have intentionally changed. Another example is if someone has brain damage, that could permanently change an aspect of how their neurotype works. And for other traits and types, certain changes can be part of how they operate. For example, along with male, female, agender, etc., another gender type is gender fluid. To the best of my knowledge, a person who is gender fluid was born gender fluid and will be gender fluid their whole life long. So in that sense, their gender type doesn't change. But part of the nature of the gender fluid type is that the person experiences their gender changing over time. So sometimes they might experience themselves as male, sometimes as female, sometimes as neither, etc. Another example is personality type. Each personality type has a generally predictable way in which it changes as a person progresses their consciousness. The person's personality type stays the same throughout their lives, but how it manifests shifts depending on where they're currently at in their development. Traits and types have a profound effect on how we operate. For example, neurotype and personality type have a huge effect on how we learn. As an introverted autistic person, I thrive in a learning environment in which I can spend long hours, like 5 to 8 hours by myself, deep diving into one specific topic that I'm particularly interested in. Whereas an extroverted ADHD person might be more likely to thrive in a collaborative, multitasking group learning environment in which they can pay attention to lots of input more or less simultaneously. That kind of extroverted ADHD learning environment is a nightmare for me and will cause me to burn out fast. Whereas I've seen ADHD friends of mine find the kind of learning style I prefer to be consummate torture. Almost all educational systems, spiritual development systems, therapeutic modalities, coaching frameworks, work environments, self-care advice, legal systems, cultural rules, etc., have major unconscious bias built into their core assumptions. These systems work very well for people who have the same types and traits as the people who designed them, and they can work very poorly or even be downright harmful for people with conflicting types and traits. If you happen to be an individual trying to navigate these systems, you can end up fighting yourself at every turn as you try to fit your square peg into a whole series of round holes, often not even realizing why you're struggling so hard. And if you are trying to use these systems to work with others, you can find yourself being very effective with certain people and completely ineffective with others, with very little clue as to why or how to fix it. Understanding your own traits and types and how they work can give you insight into how to work with yourself instead of fighting against yourself. Your strengths, weaknesses, and quirks, which developmental lines you probably have an affinity for, the types of activities you're more inclined to enjoy doing, what kind of work environment is healthier and more effective for you, which learning methods are better for you, which therapeutic modalities are more effective for you, etc. This can help you be much more effective at developing the parts of you that do tend to change, including your consciousness progression, your spiritual development, your skills and intelligences, and areas of your life, including self-care. For example, understanding that I'm trans helped me understand why Western magical techniques worked weirdly in my body. Western magic is very gendered. It works specifically with feminine and masculine energy properties. The feminine energy pattern receives and holds energy like a cup, whereas the masculine energy pattern flows through and out more like a sword. I discovered, oddly, that an organ I was born with, my uterus, was blocking my natural energy flow because my energy wanted to flow in a masculine way, and my uterus was blocking and holding it. This had some very weird effects and made Western magic very difficult for my body to handle. After I had a hysterectomy for gender affirming reasons, a happy side effect was that my magic worked much more fluidly and easily because my energy flow was able to behave the way it wanted to. And then understanding other people's traits and types, as well as your own, can give you profound insights into how to work with other people instead of fighting against them. Their strengths, weaknesses, and quirks, which developmental lines they probably have an affinity for, the types of activities they're more inclined to enjoy doing, what kind of work environments are healthier and more effective for them, which learning methods are better for them, which therapeutic modalities work better for them, and what self-care looks like for them, etc. This can help you improve your communication with others who are different from you, your relationships with family, friends, romantic partners, colleagues, and coworkers, your ability to connect with readers through your writing, your teaching methods, your outcomes with clients, your teamwork, your leadership skills, the efficacy of your plans for changing the world, and your success in a variety of situations as you better understand which things you're probably naturally better at than most people, and which things you might ask for help with from other people who find them easier than you ever thought possible. Here are a few resources that you can use right now to start exploring traits and types. A decent free online personality test is available at 16personalities.com. This can help you start to understand your own personality type. Kate Bornstein's New Gender Workbook is an excellent interactive way to explore the wide world of gender. EmbraceAutism.com is a very illuminating resource for exploring neurodiversity. If you are neurodivergent, this might help you understand yourself better. If you have friends or loved ones who are neurodivergent, it could help you understand them better. And if you work, for example, in education, in healthcare, or in a creative or innovative profession that values diversity of thought, then understanding neurodiversity from a non-pathologizing perspective could definitely improve the efficacy of you and your team. I'll include links to each of these resources in the description below. Happy exploring!